many people, I woke up today excited to watch some more NBA basketball before seeing that it was the most atrocious slate of all time today. Now, that's not to say that there weren't any good games, I guess. Devin Booker dropped 50 points on the Pelicans' head for the third time in a row. Oh, and Tyrese Halliburton is back to his old self, which is something that is actually a bit important in this video because today I am going to be doing my way too early NBA playoff predictions. I have my nice little play-in tournament bracket right here with my Western Conference teams on the left and my Eastern Conference teams on the right. I'm going to start with the top seeds in the Western Conference, that being the Sacramento Kings versus the Phoenix Suns. Being a Kings fan myself, I am struggling to realize if I should be optimistic about my team or just have no hope in them at all and think that they're going to get crushed by the Phoenix Suns. If we're being honest here, I do think the Kings have a chance at making it through in just the first game, okay? I do think that can happen, but at the same time, they're not going to have Malik Monk, their sixth man of the year, who's someone that is obviously very needed for this Kings team. He is a beam of energy, no pun intended there, but they do have Trey Lyles and Sasha Vezenkov. Anyways, enough Kings talk because we'll get to that in a bit. I'm going to say that the Sacramento Kings lose this first game and make their way to the loser bracket, which means that the Phoenix Suns would make their way through as the 7th seed. We'll just draw some arrows there for now. Over in the lower seeds, I am going to hope eventually that this isn't the Warriors and it's the Rockets, but for the sake of this video and for the sake of the standings as of today, they're the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to say that the Lakers beat the Warriors and they get smoked. They're out. They're out of the playoffs. They're out of everything. The Lakers make their way here, and then I have the Kings. Oh my God, I'm so bad at handwriting with my mouse. I have the Kings taking this and moving on as the 8th seed. So that is my Western Conference. If it looks really confusing, I promise it'll look clearer as we get to the actual playoff picture itself. Over in the Eastern Conference, the Bulls and Hawks game might be one of the worst games of basketball we have ever seen. So even though it might be some of the worst basketball we've ever seen, I have the Atlanta Hawks taking this game because although I don't see the Hawks taking a playoff series, shit, maybe even making it to the playoffs, I feel like they're the team that can have at least one game. You can have at least one game where DeJounte Murray pops off or where Trae Young pops off, and I see that being more likely than DeMar DeRozan having a good game or Kobe White being the one to step up. So I'm gonna go ahead and eliminate the Chicago Bulls. I'm sorry. And we are moving the Atlanta Hawks to the 9th seed in the Miami Heat and 76ers series. We are going to assume at this point in time that Joel Embiid is back, considering that he is, I think, actually coming back soon right now. So with that being said, if we have a team with Joel Embiid that has played a couple of games, they're getting a good hang of things now. Joel Embiid is getting back into playing shape. I have them taking this game easily, bringing the 76ers in as the 7th seed as well, in which I have the Miami Heat going up against the Atlanta Hawks, in which I have the Miami Heat taking. So Miami Heat, congratulations, you guys are the 8th seed. That's a $sign. Oh my God, am I slow? That was the most embarrassing shit I've ever done. All right, so here's my play-in tournament predictions. Hopefully all that made sense. If it didn't, well, now it should. So you guys remember when I said I don't know if I should be optimistic about my Kings or if I should be hating on them? Well, in this series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think the Kings can take it. I know it sounds crazy, and I know a lot of people might be thinking, oh no, but SGA is gonna be MVP. He's not, but you know what I mean. And J-Dub can have one of those games, and Chet's there. I don't know, but something about this OKC Thunder team going up against this Sacramento Kings team, I don't think they can handle it. And I'm not just trying to say that from a Kings fan perspective. That's just basketball basis how I think about this series. So I'm sorry, I know the OKC Thunder fans are gonna hate me for this one, but I have the Sacramento Kings going through to the second round. I know, I'm crazy, I'm delusional, I know. The next one being a Clippers versus Mavericks series, which I think this would be one of the most entertaining series we would see in the entire playoffs. Because on one hand, you have the Clippers who, you know, you're gonna be going up against playoff Kawhi Leonard, but on the other, you have Luka and Kyrie that have been hooping their ass off. And just going off of recent games and how I feel like the team can be, the Mavericks are a team that I don't see them stopping anytime soon. They just can't stop. They just beat a Houston Rockets team that's on an 11-game winning streak. I know that that's not much of a flex saying that they beat an 11-seeded team, but do we trust James Harden when it comes to playoff time? And I don't know how I feel about the Clippers team. They haven't really shown me anything before in previous years. I'm taking the Dallas Mavericks over the LA Clippers. I apologize to all of the Clippers fans. Once again, it's nothing personal, just my basketball opinion. Moving down, we have the Timberwolves versus the Pelicans. Pelicans. Now, I am not too informed on the Pelicans and their stance with Brandon Ingram right now as to when he will be back from injury. I know he wasn't playing today, and the Pelicans lost to the Phoenix Suns. But to me, the Pelicans just don't have enough firepower when it comes to not having Brandon Ingram. Once again, they might actually have him back by playoff time. I'm not sure. But I was watching their game against the Phoenix Suns today, and the only thing the Phoenix Suns were doing were just locking all their eyes onto Zion. And every time that happened, they were blocking him, whether it was a pass or a drive to the basket. And when you're going up against a team with Cat and Rudy Gobert, who's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, I don't think Zion can just drive to the basket like he can with a lot of other teams. So yeah, I have the Timberwolves taking this series as well. All right, next up we have the Denver Nuggets against the Phoenix Suns. As much as I love to sit here and say that the Phoenix Suns have a chance with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, I genuinely hate the Phoenix Suns. And I'm not even trying to say that from a mean standpoint to their fans or anything. I just feel like I have treated the Brooklyn Nets a certain way for how they have ran their franchise, which is trading all their good talent for some superstars and attempt to win a championship cheaply, and it doesn't end up happening, and they just end up in a worse situation than they were before. That's something I've hated on the Brooklyn Nets for, and I feel like the Phoenix Suns did that with Kevin Durant. Not to say that their 2021 NBA Finals roster was gonna win a championship, but to completely blow it all up for just a run at Kevin Durant, a little bit crazy to me. And Bradley Beal, don't forget about that, which is the stupidest fucking move of all time. Anyways, I think you all know what I'm gonna say with this one. Phoenix Suns, I apologize, but you guys are out of here. Moving over to the East, before we do these semifinals over in the West, we have the Boston Celtics against the Miami Heat. And I know that we have seen this matchup last year, and it didn't go the way I'm expecting it to go this year, because I have the Boston Celtics winning this series. And for all I know, the Miami Heat could come out and make their finals run again. I don't think they will. I don't think the Celtics care about the Miami Heat anymore. I don't think they're scared. I think that they have once again grown as a team. How much more growing do they have before they finally win a championship? I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Miami Heat off this list. I don't see them being a team that scares anyone at this point anymore. The New York Knicks versus the Orlando Magic might be the lowest scoring playoff series we see within the past 20 years. The defense between these two, playoff Paolo Banchero, is going to be a blast to watch, not to mention obviously playoff Jalen Brunson. I cannot wait to see these two teams go head to head. Although I do have the New York Knicks taking this, though I don't think the Magic are there yet. Whether you want to say playoff experience, blah, 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 I don't care. I just feel like Orlando Magic just need more pieces before I feel like they're a real rounded out team. And that's not to discredit them for what they've done this season. They are by far one of the biggest surprises of the year. I feel like the Orlando Magic being this high is more of a surprise than the Timberwolves or Thunder being as high as they were in the West. Moving down, we have the Cavaliers versus the Indiana Pacers. And like I said in the intro, Tyrese Halliburton is looking like his regular self, which is something that will be exciting to see in the playoffs, considering we haven't seen him out there on that big stage yet. Only stage we've seen him on is the play-in tournament where he hit the little Dame time, you know, he did his little thing. But do I think the Pacers can take down a Cavaliers team that has been absolutely killing it? Let's not forget the Cavaliers had that great run earlier on in the season. So yeah, I'm sorry, Pacers fans. I know it might look like I'm just hating on you guys because I'm a Kings fan. I'm not. I really wish the best for Tyrese. I'm so happy to see him back playing as his regular self, but I don't see them having enough firepower really to take down a Cavaliers team that has been really hot and has made the playoffs before. A number 2 seeded Milwaukee Bucks going up against a 7 seed 76ers might be the most random thing that no one would have ever expected in the playoffs this year. That being said, I know this might be a shocker, and I know not many people are going to like it. I have the Milwaukee Bucks taking this series. I don't think the 76ers are going to be ready. With Embiid having such a short turnaround, there's really only 2 possibilities. That being Joel Embiid feels extremely healthy and he's even more dominant than he was before, or he's just not in enough shape, or he's not ready enough for such a big task like the playoffs. Whereas the Milwaukee Bucks have been in their way. Now they do have Doc Rivers. I know people are going to say that. I don't think that that has much of an effect as many people talk about. And I'm going to tell you right now, the most underrated factor in this entire series is Patrick Beverley, ladies and gentlemen. The guy is out for blood. You remember what he did in the play-in tournament when he was on the Timberwolves? That same shit's gonna happen, except this time in Philadelphia. All right, I'm gonna cut to when I make this look a little bit cleaner. I don't know if the snap thing worked. I don't know why I did it. To be honest, I already recorded this series, but my mic was muted the entire time, so I'm just going to go ahead and run through it again. In the second round over here with the Kings and Mavericks, I have the Kings getting their shit absolutely rocked. There's no doubt about that in my mind. I was optimistic enough putting them past the OKC Thunder in the first round. There's no way they get past the Mavericks. The Mavericks are on something else this year. Sacramento, you guys are cooked. Also, I want to say as well, I think the Mavericks would be higher in the Western Conference had they not suffered such terrible injuries throughout the entire season, which is why I have them as such such a dark horse in this video and just in my entire prediction overall because their seed number does not match their actual skill and talent this year. With that being said, let's go down to the Timberwolves versus Denver Nuggets in a series that will be great and in a series that I want to put the Nuggets through just because they're the Nuggets. Before Jokic won his first championship, everyone was kind of saying like, oh yeah, he's a great player. He's one of the best centers we've seen, but he's never won a championship. And now that he's won a championship, I almost feel like he should win every single year because he's so damn good. And it's like he's already done it. So what else is stopping him? But you know what I think is stopping him? I think Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, and Karl Anthony Towns is stopping this man. And don't forget Nas Reed. So with that being said, I'm going to drop a little bit of a shocker on you guys here and say that the Denver Nuggets are going to get cooked in the second round. I know it sounds crazy, but I have the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks making their way to the Western Conference Finals. Over in the Eastern Conference, though, I would love to see a Celtics versus Knicks playoff series, whether that's first, second, or third round. To be honest, I just want to see the Knicks make the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals within the next couple years. I want Jalen Brunson to be the one leading that team to a huge playoff run. Sadly, though, I don't think that'll be this year. With the size that the Boston Celtics have, Kristaps Porzingis did just a phenomenal job at filling a role that they really badly needed. I think the New York Knicks will find themselves going home, maybe doing some huge offseason moves, at least one could hope, and I see the Boston Celtics making their way to the Eastern Conference Finals. And it wouldn't be right if the two most dominant teams didn't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, which is why I have the Milwaukee Bucks taking the Cavaliers series as well. I also think the Cavaliers just have like some weird stuff going on right now. It just felt like as soon as Donovan Mitchell joined the Cavaliers, everyone was already talking about where he was going to go when he eventually leaves the team, which is really shitty. But at the same time, Donovan Mitchell hasn't really shown to me or to a lot of people, I guess, how badly he wants to stay in Cleveland. Like, I know there was a quote recently where he was kind of like, hey, whatever happens kind of happens. And for all I know, maybe he joins the New York Knicks next year and becomes the guy that helps Jalen Brunson go to the NBA Finals or Conference Finals. Who knows? But this season, they're not doing it for me, which is why I have the Boston Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Once again, let me clean this up. Hopefully I don't mute my mic this time. And yeah. All right, here we are, the Western Conference Finals. Now that I see them both matched up against each other, it seems so unrealistic because now that I look at them, none of these teams are NBA Finals teams. Like in the Western Conference, maybe the Mavericks are, but I feel like they just I don't know. Maybe you know what? No. Let me stick with my gut, okay? Let me stick with my prediction genes here. I'm gonna be completely honest here. I feel like the Timberwolves are a more well-rounded team. I feel like what they have is more real. They have more chemistry about themselves. And that's not to say the Mavericks don't have any chemistry. Like, they have definitely had one of the best seasons that they've had in the Luka Doncic era, besides obviously making it to the Western Conference Finals before. But the Timberwolves just have something about them where I do feel highly optimistic, obviously, since I'm saying they're gonna make it to the NBA Finals. But yeah, I have them taking this series over the Dallas Mavericks. That is how I see this going. Whereas over in the Eastern Conference, between the Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't think I can put the Boston Celtics through to another NBA Finals. I don't know if I can. I feel like they've done it so many times. They've gone to the Eastern Conference Finals. They made it to the second round so many damn times. The NBA Finals one of the damn times, but they just couldn't get it done. They couldn't get it done against a Golden State Warriors team. Like, seriously, a washed up old Golden State Warriors team they couldn't win against. You know what? Fuck it. Milwaukee Bucks, you're making your way to the NBA Finals, okay? Right here, this is your NBA Finals preview. I hope you guys all enjoy, because you wouldn't have known this if you didn't click on this video and watch through. But who's gonna win it all? I think it's pretty obvious. I don't have the Milwaukee Bucks losing to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves made it to the NBA Finals. It was a historic run. They're gonna come back next year with some vengeance. But the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis is gonna win his second ring. Patrick Beverley is gonna win his first championship. The Pat Bev pod is gonna go crazy. Damian Lillard also gets his first ring. It is how the NBA is writing the script, okay? I know, because I am good friends with Adam Silver. That being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed. I know there's gonna be some people that absolutely hate looking at this screenshot, but you know what? Come back and look at it when we're in the playoffs and tell me it's not legit. So yeah, if you did enjoy, go check out one of my other videos. They should be up on the screen right now, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Later.